The sports world is no stranger to its fair share of rivalries, controversies, and debates that seem to transcend the court. One of these moments came to a head recently, involving two of women's basketball's most iconic figures, A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. The whole thing seemed like it was cooked up in a reality TV drama kitchen, but it wasn't staged. It was real life, and it all began with a little spot at Nike that set off a chain reaction of emotions, Twitter posts, and some side-eye glances. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. To set the scene, A'ja Wilson is a big name. Scratch that. She's a massive name. She's got MVPs in her trophy case, a WNBA championship, and a reputation as one of the most dominant forces in the game today. On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is the rising star, the fresh face, with a dead-eye jumper and a swagger that doesn't match her years. She's the future of women's basketball, or so say the headlines. And recently the future showed up in a way that sparked a whole new conversation. The backstory to this drama began with Nike's athlete marketing division, which is all about hyping up their sponsored athletes. It's where legends are cemented and future stars are given their first taste of the limelight. A'ja Wilson, who has been a Nike athlete for some time now, seemed like she had her spot secure, sort of like that unspoken assigned seat you claim at the lunch table. Everyone knew it was hers. Then Caitlin Clark came bursting onto the scene with her standout college career, grabbing attention left, right, and center. And soon after, Nike made a move that felt more like a strategic crossover on the court than a business decision. Nike, in its quest to celebrate Clark's rise, rolled out a marketing campaign that highlighted the young phenom, giving her what some considered A'ja's spotlight. This wasn't a literal spotlight, but more like the prestigious prime corner of the brand's marketing vision board. And that didn't sit well with Wilson or her fans. Here was Clark, fresh off her electrifying season, seemingly grabbing the reins of a movement that had been A'ja's work for years. When Nike faced backlash for the perceived slight, they did something that few major corporations do: they apologized. Now, apologies in corporate speak can often come across like a PR team flipping through their manual to page 23, under mildly disgruntled athlete. But this one seemed different. It was meant to address the frustration bubbling not just within A'ja, but among her legions of supporters who felt she was being, well, disrespected. And Wilson? She's not the type to miss an alley-oop of a moment like this. A'ja took to social media, and if there's one thing you can count on in today's sports landscape, it's that social media is the court where the real game is played. Her reaction was measured, but it had that unmistakable flavor of someone who knows their worth and won't be sidelined without a word. She didn't go on a full-blown rant, but she didn't need to. A'ja is savvy. She knows a few choice words can hit harder than a lengthy soliloquy. The internet ate it up. The memes came pouring in, fans dissected every letter of her post, and the sports shows couldn't resist weighing in on the matter. There's a lot more to A'ja Wilson than just this reaction, though. She's been a foundational piece for women's basketball, from her days at South Carolina under the guidance of coach Dawn Staley to her blossoming career in the young NBA. She's not just an athlete, she's a brand and ambassador for the sport, and a beacon for young players who want to follow in her footsteps. Her game isn't just about scoring points or grabbing rebounds. It's a combination of physicality, finesse, and that intangible quality that makes great players magnetic. People watch A'ja not just to see the numbers she puts up, but to feel the passion she brings to every game. On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is still in the honeymoon phase of her career. But it's not just any honeymoon. It's like being handed the keys to a Ferrari, while everyone watches to see if you can handle the ride. And to be fair, she's handling it well. Her shooting ability has people comparing her to some of the greats, and her style of play has added a new layer of excitement to women's college basketball. But with that excitement comes expectations and a whole lot of comparisons. When Nike made their move, it wasn't necessarily an insult to Wilson, at least not on the surface. It was a business decision, a strategic pivot towards someone who's creating a lot of buzz right now. Yet, when you're A'ja Wilson and you've been putting in the work, dominating on the court and earning your place, it's easy to see how that move might sting. It's like being passed over for a new hire in a company where you've been Employee of the Month for 2 years straight. Nike's apology wasn't just about making amends with one athlete. It was about addressing a delicate balancing act that all brands face in a rapidly evolving sports landscape. They had to acknowledge the importance of their longtime star while also embracing the rising talent of Caitlin Clark. And that's no easy feat. It's like trying to juggle fire and ice. Both are powerful in their own way, and mishandle either one and you're going to get burned or frozen out. For A'ja, this moment was bigger than a simple oversight. It was a statement about respect and recognition, two things she's fought hard to earn. Fans rallied around her, not just because of her accomplishments, but because they saw a bit of themselves in her frustration. Who hasn't felt overlooked at some point? Who hasn't seen someone else get the promotion they thought was rightfully theirs? Aja's reaction wasn't just the cry of an athlete feeling slighted. It was a universal human moment, wrapped up in the context of sports. The humor in this entire situation came from the side conversations and banter that followed. Social media users did what they do best, injecting humor into even the tensest situations. Some joked about the free agent spotlight market. Others speculated that Aja might show up at a future game wearing shades, unbothered, or casually holding a sign that read, "Still here." Even sports talk shows got in on the act, throwing around analogies and making exaggerated comparisons to soap opera plotlines. For those not deep in the basketball world, it was a spectacle that felt both oddly relatable and strangely funny. In the end, Nike's apology was as much about repairing the image of the brand as it was about recognizing the accomplishments of their athletes. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this drama, and in fairness, she handled the situation with grace, focusing on her game and not getting entangled in the noise. Aja, on the other hand, made it clear without spelling it out. She's here to stay, and she's not letting anyone take what she's earned. The whole situation highlighted the sometimes awkward dance between a brand's need to stay relevant and an athlete's desire for acknowledgement. This was also a story about two different stages in careers, one rising rapidly and the other maintaining a hard-won place at the top. Aja Wilson represents stability and dominance, the established order, while Caitlin Clark embodies change and potential. It's a dynamic that's been present in sports for as long as people have been keeping score, but it never stops being compelling. The crowd loves to see a new face emerge, but they're also loyal to their reigning champions. Wilson's reaction, whether calculated or impulsive, wasn't just a statement directed at Nike. It was a message to everyone watching. She's got more to prove, more to achieve, and she's not stepping aside quietly for the new kid on the block. That's the kind of mentality that makes for great athletes in memorable moments. It's also the kind of mentality that fans love to rally behind. So while this particular episode may have ended with an apology and a bit of awkward laughter, it's safe to say this won't be the last time these two names come up in the same conversation. Whether they're battling for MVPs, headlines, or spots in future campaigns, Aja Wilson and Caitlin Clark are on a collision course that could shape the narrative of women's basketball for years to come. In sports, moments like this are like seasoning in a dish. They add that extra flavor that keeps people invested, that gives fans something to talk about, argue over, and ultimately enjoy. And for Aja Wilson, this wasn't just about one campaign or one apology. It was a reminder that in sports, like in life, respect isn't something you just get handed. It's something you keep demanding, no matter how many times you've earned it already. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.